Well, hello there. My name is Craig Hain. My students call me Dr. Del. And this video is about a huge $9 opportunity for you. Now, when I say you, I'm assuming you are a young adult, age 13 or older, could be an old adult, that would like to improve your life dramatically. And this $9 opportunity will be such an opportunity. You're going to be able to join something I call the TMT. Tell you about what that means in a minute, for only $9 a month. And you can withdraw that at any time. And so for the first 30 days, the first month, you're in this for $9, you're going to get a tremendous number of things. And what you're really going to do is invest a lot of your time in taking advantage of all these tools you're going to get that I'm going to give you that, quite frankly, even in the first 30 days, if you apply yourself, should be worth hundreds and maybe thousands or tens of thousands of dollars to you in your future life. And of course, this will go on for a long time, but if you don't like it after the first 30 days, you can drop out, and I'm guessing you still have got tremendous benefits. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to, first of all, this is going to be a fairly long video because I want you to fully understand it. I'm going to explain to you what the TMT is. The TMT stands for Triad Math Tribe. Now, Triad Math is a company that I am the CEO of and the founder of, and you'll learn all about it. And we formed a tribe called the Triad Math Tribe. That's what TMT stands for. And the mission of this tribe is to improve the life of any TMT member. So if you join the tribe, our mission is to improve your life. And we're talking about over a long period of time. It'll start out with the first 90 days, and I think it'll already improve it tremendously, but then it'll go on and on and on. There's never any end to improving your life. Now, how can that be? Well, question number one is, what is your life full of? And this is any life, at least it certainly was my life, and it's the life of all the people I know. And the answer is, your life's going to be full of problems and opportunities. The problems you have to deal with and solve, and the opportunities, if you recognize them, you have to take advantage of them. Now, what's going to be the result of the fact that you have problems and opportunities? Well, the result's going to be you're going to take actions, and actions have consequences, and your whole life's going to consist of that. My life's consisted of that for I'm in my 9th decade now. And sometimes you take actions that have consequences that you don't like. Maybe you didn't anticipate them. Sometimes there's consequences you love. And the whole idea now is to get wisdom. Now, wisdom, by my definition, is understanding what will be the consequences of the actions that you take, depending on the problems and the opportunities. Now, wisdom can be very difficult to come by, very expensive, very time-consuming, and so on, very painful to come by, or it can be sometimes easy. What I'm going to do as a TMT member, I'm going to be sharing wisdom tools with you that I acquired over my life, over many decades. Some of them cost me a great deal of pain and money. Some of them were I got them from other people relatively inexpensively. And on top of that, in addition to that, what Triad Math does is we offer an incredible set of math tools that you can use along with the wisdom tools to get an optimal life. I'm going to show you how, for example, it depends on who you are and what your interest in life is, but many of you will be able to learn enough math to do practical things that you want to do that could be worth a really great living. And you're going to learn about that. Now, any tribe, as you're going to find out, has rules you have to follow. Well, we've only got one rule really you've got to follow. Be helpful and be honest to all other TMT members. Be helpful and be honest. Now, those are the two rules we have. Now, I want to talk to you later about just what is tribalism and what a tribe's all about. But before I do that, I'm going to go down and tell you what you're going to get if you do join the Triad Math Tribe. And then I'm going to go back and just talk about tribalism in general and what it really is. Here's what you're going to get. First of all, you're going to get Triad Math's 6-tier 21st century math program for you to use as a tribe member. All 6 tiers. Now, this can cost you literally many, many hundreds of dollars if you just go buy the tiers individually. The first tier, number one, you're going to get is you're going to learn how to master the TI-30XA scientific calculator. That's a $10 calculator. It's a scientific calculator. It's a fantastic calculator. And you're going to be able to master what you need to know about it for practical math in 16 lessons. These will be tutorial videos. They'll come off Amazon Web Services. There will be notes and exercises and quizzes. I'm the teacher. I'm the tutor. I call it kitchen table math. And I will teach you what you need to know about that calculator. By the way, half of the things on that calculator you'll never use, and I don't teach those. I teach the things that you're going to use and find valuable. And most students do this in about 2 weeks. You might be able to do it in 2 or 3 days, or if you take you a long time, it might take you a whole 30 days. If you don't do this in less than 30 days, then the question is my program going to be of any value to you? And that'll probably be the end of it. You'll drop out and you'll have spent your $9. Now, just learning that alone, no matter where you're studying math or what you're doing with math, is going to improve your math skills and your math knowledge. And that's of great value. Now, if you stay in the tribe, or if you go real fast the first 30 days, in tier 2, you're going to learn practical math. And it's going to be easy and fun. You're not going to believe it. Now, most people have had a bad experience with math. They don't like math. They're afraid of math. They've had a bad experience with math. That was my situation. I tell you my story, and I'll tell you how you can hear all my story later on. I will give it to you. But what I'm going to do in tier 2 is I'm going to teach you practical algebra and geometry and trigonometry, all 3 of those subjects. And you're going to learn it in about 3 or 4 months. That's typical. I have some students learn it in 1 or 2 months. I have some students take 6 or 8 months. It doesn't matter. You're going to learn it. There's only 36 lessons to learn all 3 of those subjects practical. And once you learn that, you're going to know more mathematics than 95% of all the people in this country, and you're going to be ready to embark on a great technical career. 1,000 different technical fields you can go into, but you've got to know practical math to get into them, or go to the military. And you're going to be able to do all that without going to college. Now, some of you will want to go to college because you need to get a certificate. Maybe you'll be a lawyer or a doctor or whatever it might be. Well, then you're going to have to take something called an exam, like an SAT or an ACT, and you need some more math for that. So now in tier 3, I teach you some more math you need to do well on one of those tests. Tell you right up front, I think those tests are terrible. I don't think they prove much of anything. And usually the people that get them are the ones that have spent a lot of money on tutors. Well, you're going to get it in my tier 3, and I'm the tutor, and it's costing you $9 a month. And most students go through tier 3 in a matter of 6 months, maybe a year if you're slow. Take your time, and then you'll be ready. $9 a month. So you're hiring me as a tutor. And by the way, because it comes off of Amazon Web Services, I'm available 24/7. And my tutorial videos, you control them. You watch them, you rewatch them, you back them up, you leave, you come back, you review. All of that is like a sport. I think of math as a sport. You got to practice a lot. You got to learn new things, go back and review things you've learned, back and forth. I treat math as a sport. It's fun, and really it's easy when it's taught properly with the right content. Now, that's assuming you decide to go to college, tier 3. Now the question is, what if you then decide you might want to go into science and engineering, or engineering STEM, they call it. Well, I have now upper tiers, 4, 5, and 6. And these are unbelievable. If you're possibly interested in science and engineering, this will be a lifesaver for you. And the reason is, in these upper tiers now, I teach you, first of all those subjects that I talked earlier, pre-calculus math, trigonometry, algebra, analytical geometry, at a much deeper level now. I then teach you calculus. There's 2 kinds, there's differential and integral. Those subjects, integral calculus on a scale, in the old days, on a scale of 1 to 10 is about a difficulty level of 8. Then I teach you differential equations. Well, how can you do all that? It's never done in high school. The reason is I now use a modern tool that came out of the 21st century. And that tool takes the difficulty level of all these math subjects that you need for science and engineering from a difficulty level of 8 or 9 down to 2. The tool is called, by the way, Wolfram Alpha. And you can learn all about this in a book that I wrote about why Public School Math is Destroying the USA, and you can get a free copy of it at my website by clicking on it, and I'll show it to you. In fact, you go to my website now, you wonder who this guy is. If you go to craighane.com, this is my website, and you will learn all about me here at this website. My vita, I have a PhD in math. I've been a professor of math, a high school teacher, I've been teaching math and applying math. More important than teach, I love teaching math, but I like to apply it too. And I've applied it to all sorts of business opportunities. I mean, you're going to learn all about that when you join the Army. I'll be telling you all that. It's a heck of a story. And you're going to go there and you click here to get a free ebook, and you go there and there's the free ebooks. There's a bunch of them actually, but the one that I'm talking about now is How and Why Public School Math is Destroying the USA. There's a free PDF copy of this. You can buy it at Amazon for under $5, but you can also get a free PDF copy. When you read this, you'll fully understand what this is all about. You spend 2 or 3 hours reading this book and you'll have a much better understanding of just what this is all about. That's the math. Guess what? There's something else that's probably more valuable to most of you than the math. The math could be very valuable to some of you. It depends on who you are. If you're a teenager, for example, going to a regular school, the math will be fantastic. It'll help you so much in your regular school. If you're going to go into the military, if you're going to a technical career, the math's going to be tremendous for you, particularly if you're going into science engineering. This is unbelievable. But let's assume you're not going to do any of that. I have what I call wisdom tools. Now, a wisdom tool, as I mentioned earlier, at the very beginning, is when you understand the consequences of certain actions. And I'm going to give you a collection of wisdom tools that will be of value to you really the rest of your life. And you can, here's what they are. These are some of the future benefit wisdom tools. Every one of these is a video of me explaining to you something that I learned. Sometimes I learned it from other people. Sometimes I figured it out. That wasn't usually the case. Sometimes I learned it the hard way. And every one of these wisdom tools now will help you improve your life. These are the wisdom tools that I acquired over my lifetime. Every one of these wisdom tools helped me improve my life. I'm in my 80s now. I'm almost 90 years old. I've had a fantastic life. I've had all kinds of businesses. I've traveled. I've had a wonderful family. I mean, I've had a fantastic life. Now, a lot of it's good luck. Good fortune. If you're in the United States, you happen to be in the United States tribe, you're very lucky. You're very fortunate. I was too. I couldn't have done any of this if I'd have been born in, some tribe in Africa, let's say. I've been very lucky. These are, if you're watching this video in the United States, you're already blessed, tremendously blessed with the opportunities you're going to have. But every one of these videos will help you improve your life. At least it'll help me. Let's put it that way. Will it help you? I don't know. That's up to you. Because obviously what happens with a wisdom video, you have to learn something and practice it. Remember, actions have consequences. And these are called, I call them wisdom tools, because this is telling you, for example, how do you win an argument? Or more importantly, how do you never lose an argument? I never lose an argument. Well, I have in my past, but I learned how not to. I don't anymore. How do you deal with what you might call a difficult person? We're all going to have people we have to deal with that we think of as difficult. How do you deal with them? I'll tell you how I learned to do that. Persuasion techniques. How do you persuade people to do something? How am I persuading you now to invest $9 and some time in 30 days? This is a persuasion video. Well, I'm telling you, for $9, you should get benefits, and you put some time into it that'll be worth hundreds or thousands of dollars. Now, if you don't believe me, that's fine and dandy. Then I haven't persuaded you, and you're not going to invest $9, and that's fine. But if you do, you'll find out. As a matter of fact, it wouldn't surprise me if someone else has told you about this, and you've come here because someone else has said, hey, go join this tribe. It's fantastic. I don't know how you got here to watch this video. My guess is someone probably told you. What is exponential growth? If you don't understand exponential growth, that can create tremendous problems in your life. Perhaps most important of all is, how do you make sure you have good mental health and good physical health? There's a lot of things behind that, and I learned a lot to do that. Addictions and habits. That's going to be a very important wisdom tool, because we all have habits and addictions, and you've got to have good habits and good addictions, or you don't do well. And I found that out the hard way, so to speak. I learned that. I've had bad habits. I've had bad addictions. I've had problems in my life. but have overcome all of it. And these are the wisdom tools. Okay, now I'm going to go back to the notes I'm following, and I'm going to go back up. Oh, by the way, there's another thing then that you can do after you've joined the tribe for a period of time. I'm going to tell you about something you can do that's just going to be fantastic that you might want to do. But before that, I'm going to talk about what is a tribe. A tribe, in my view, is what I call, it's a group of sapiens. You're a sapien. That's a human being. Sapien means a human being. And a tribe's a group of sapiens that has a certain set of beliefs and a certain rules of behavior. Those two things. There are lots of tribes. In fact, as a species, we are tribal. No sapien can live on their own individually. If you're not part of some tribe, you will die. That's just a fact of life. It's just the way it is. Even people that are hermits benefit from some tribes that they leech off of. If I dump you out in the middle of nowhere with no other sapiens around, no tribe, you will die. I would die. I can't do it. Okay, now these tribes have rules of behavior and beliefs, and some of these are written down, and some of them are just understood. And if you violate a behavior, you can be expelled from the tribe. And you study history, it's all about that. Now, tribes can be very, very small. Your smallest tribe probably is a mom, a mother, and a child. When you're a baby, someone's got to feed you and take care of you for several years or you die. Well, that's a very small tribe. Usually it's a mother, maybe hopefully a father, maybe not. And it might not even be a mother, father. It might be an adopted parents. Who knows? But somebody. Then you have small tribes, a small family, friends. Then you get medium tribes. Maybe your workforce you're in, a school you're going to, a team you're on. There's lots of tribes. And you're going to be in lots of tribes. Some tribes are very large, and some are really large. For example, if you live in the United States and you're a citizen of the United States, you are a member of a big tribe, 350 million people. Now, there's many bigger tribes in the world. If you're over in China, that tribe's like 1.5 billion people. That's a even bigger tribe. And a lot of these tribes overlap. You can be in a religious tribe. You can be in a sports team. You can be in all sorts of things. And by the way, the Triad Math Tribe, we don't care what other tribes you're in. I don't care what your religion is, what your gender is, what your sex is, what your race is. I mean, none of that matters. Any sapien can join the Triad Math Tribe if they're helpful to others and honest. Okay? Now, obviously, if you're not helpful or if you're not honest, we'll expel you from the tribe. Okay, tribes. You're going to be a member of lots of tribes in your life. We all are. I've been a member of many, many tribes. When I am a member, sometimes I'm just a visitor. Okay? And as long as I respect his behaviors, I once was in the Diablo motorcycle gang, a member, not a member, but a visitor, and they accepted me. I went to their parties. I knew them. Someone worked for me. I worked with them. I didn't share their beliefs, by the way, but I didn't contradict them. Okay, but I did respect their behavior. And if you didn't respect their behavior, you can get in big trouble. Now, the facts are a lot of tribes hate other tribes. That's the world we live in. If you study history, I studied as tribalism. Amy Chua wrote a book called Political Tribes, a great book. And that got me to really thinking in terms of tribalism as I think about history and the world we live in today. Everything today I do, as I analyze what's going on in the world, I do it in terms of tribalism. And history is really just a story of tribalism, of actions that happen. And fiction, by the way, history I always say is kind of fiction. It's written by the winning tribes. If Hitler had won World War II, history would be written quite differently than it is today. But he lost, and now it's different. Now, there are a lot of fictional stories on this. One of my favorite stories that really demonstrates tribalism in a very dramatic way is King Rat by James Clavell. If you haven't read that book, you might want to read it. There's a movie on it, but read the book. It's really quite illuminating. Another one by Victor Hugo. It's about during the French Revolution, called Les Miserables. I was assigned that book when I was in high school with my English teacher, and I read it, and it was the first great novel probably that I had ever read. Now, since then, I've read many, many other great novels, and all of them are tribalism. The Dostoevsky novels, it's all about tribalism. Faulkner, all of them. If you read the Bible or the Quran, it's all about tribalism. They're great stories. Are they fictional or not? Well, that's up to you to decide on that. I think all history is fiction in a way. It's written by somebody that interprets what happened in their interpretation, their belief system. So on. Mark Twain wrote great stories. Some of the greatest novels in the United States. and they're about tribalism. In fact, today there's a lot of, I think there's more tribalism today in 2025 than there probably was 50 years ago. I mean, it's a very tribal thing. What are your favorite stories? What tribes are you involved in? Okay. Now, I already told you about the $9 opportunity and all you can learn there and what you get out of it. And if you join the Triad Math Tribe and you start taking advantage of this, and then I mentioned the wisdom tools to you, those will be more valuable to many of you than the math. Depends on who you are. There's so much you can get out of the tribe. There's so much you get out of it. Now, there's even more you can do. The tribe is $9 a month for you to join. That's for you for one person, okay? $9 a month. You may decide you want to do more than just be a tribe member. You want to be more active. And so we now have, you can graduate up, so to speak, to what I call the Triad Math Army. Still the tribe, but it goes beyond that. Excuse me. The global mission, by the way, of the Army now, you'll be much more active, the global mission is to eliminate all wars. If we don't eliminate war, the sapiens species is probably going to destroy itself. Because our technologies are getting so powerful now that there's lots of ways we can destroy civilization as we know it. We won't necessarily destroy the species, but we can destroy civilization as we know it and enjoy it. So you can join the Army, and what's going to happen is that when you join the Army, there's several things you can do now that you can't just do as a tribe member. One is you can start making money. How can you do that? Well, let's say you join the Army. It's going to cost you $30 a month to join the Army, okay? $30 a month. But you can go out now and recruit other members to join. Every member you recruit, we're going to give you 1/3 of what that new member's paying, which will probably be $10 a month for you. So you go out, you join the Army, and you recruit 3 new members. You're getting 10 for each one. All of a sudden, you're paying 30, but you're getting 30. You're earning 30, so it's free. So one reason, if you're a tribe member, you might want to join the Army. If you want to spread the word, move up to join the Army. Anybody can join the Army. It's $30 a month, and go recruit members, and all of a sudden, you might be getting it for free. Or there's no limit on how much you can do. You can recruit. What if you went out and recruited 100 new members, $10 a member a month? That's $1,000 a month you can be earning. How hard would it be for you to go out and recruit 100 members? I don't know. Who are you? How gregarious are you? How good a communicator are you? How good are you at persuasion techniques, which you learn as a wisdom tool? As a matter of fact, if you learn some of those, just a few of those wisdom tools, you'll be able to go out and be an Army member and probably make a lot of money. And you're not just making money, you're helping other people, because anybody that joins the Army is benefiting them. Okay. And by the way, it's too deep. If you recruit a member and then they recruit a member, you also get then 1/3 of what they're making, and you're going to get another $5 out of that. Don't worry about that. But you can make a lot of money. There's no upper limit on how much you can make, by the way. It will not surprise me if we end up with an Army member somewhere down the road that's a millionaire just because of the Army. Now, I'm not predicting it. It may not happen. You never know. Now, the other thing you can do as an Army member is you can now, if you have a family with children, for example, you can enroll them in the math program at no extra charge. We used to have what we call the family plan. You go to homeschoolertoday.com. We've been doing this for many years now. And you go there, and we had a family plan. So for like $30 a month, you could put your whole family in our math. Well, you can do that as an Army member now. It's like the family plan. We all also have something called the Uncle Jack videos. These are the video, and you'll learn all about that. These were the videos. My Uncle Jack taught me math when I was a young boy, and put me ahead of my classmates because he taught me math, practical math at home, even though I'd gone to a public school, and I always knew more math than, well, not only my classmates, I knew more math than a lot of teachers did because they didn't know the practical math he taught me. And I put that in a bunch of videos. So if you have young children, you're an Army member, you watch my videos, it'll help you teach your children, your elementary children. Now, if you're over 18 years old or older, and if you need to improve your credit score, the Army can get you a $1,000 loan from a bank. It's an Indiana bank to purchase a lifetime membership. A lifetime membership in the Army, by the way, is $1,000. Well, you can go borrow $1,000 from this bank, and you don't need a guarantor. You may have lousy credit. You know, got lousy credit, most banks aren't going to loan you any money. Okay, not on an amortization schedule. But as an Army member, you can borrow the $1,000 and buy a lifetime membership, pay off the $1,000 loan to the bank, and that will help improve your credit score. So if you need help on that, you can do that. There's going to be a lot of other things going to happen. I believe that, quite frankly, with the modern technologies that we sapiens have, we can destroy modern civilization if we don't eliminate major wars. I don't think we'll ever eliminate minor little wars, but major wars we got to eliminate. They're talking today about maybe World War III. I don't think it's going to happen. But you never know. There's so many technologies today, and I'm not talking nuclear. Everybody worried about nuclear bombs. I'm not. I'm more worried about biological. I'm more worried about space satellites or cyber warfare or these new AI technologies. Modern technologies are absolutely phenomenal. In fact, when I teach you the math, the STEM math, I use an AI technology. It's called Wolfram Alpha. And I can now teach you the science and engineering math unit, calculus, differential equations, all the pre-calculus material, quick and easy because of that tool. Manually, it's very difficult. Most people give up on science and engineering because the math's too hard. Now the math's easy. Wolfram Alpha is like a tunnel through a mountain. It's amazing. I believe today, it's a little like Dickens. We live in the best of times today, thanks to technology, but also the most dangerous of times. I won't say the worst of times, the most dangerous of times. And the Triad Math Army is devoted, our mission as an army is to make these the best of times. That's our mission. So I think that once you join the tribe, it won't be very long till you'll want to join the army. You don't ever have to join it. You can just stay in the tribe. If you don't want to mess with other people, go out and tell other people about you. You're a loner. That's fine. $9 a month. You're going to get so much out of the tribe. I would say a tribal membership for somebody that takes advantage of all the tools, the wisdom tools and the math is going to be worth over your lifetime hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not millions of dollars. What if you go from, instead of making $20 an hour at a job you don't like, to $50 an hour at doing something you do like? What's that worth? And that's what I'm going to teach you to do. I'm going to teach you how to go to college with no debt. You want to go to college. You may need to. A lot of people don't need to go to college today, but you might need to. And we talk about, and if you do need to go to college, how can you do it with no debt? And I tell you how to do that. I did it, and I'm going to tell you how to do it. But it takes wisdom. It takes wisdom tools to do it. Maybe you'll figure it out on your own. Some of the wisdom I figured on my own, but most of it I learned from other people or the school of hard knocks. There's one wisdom tool, for example, that cost me millions of dollars to learn, and it bankrupted me. It's what I call convex options. I learned that the hard way in the 1970s, and I went bankrupt because I didn't understand the concept of convex options, which I learned later. I learned all about it from Nassim Taleb in his wonderful book, Anti-Fragile. I was pretty old when I learned about that. And I go, oh my God. And then there's other things that can happen if you're not aware of. I'm almost 90 years, I'm in my late 80s now. I went bankrupt when I was 70 years old because I didn't understand something. I lacked wisdom. And when the bank crisis hit in 2009, I was worth several million dollars, and they took me down. I went broke. I lost my house I lived in. I call it my home. My home is wherever I live. But I had a nice house, a beautiful house in a very good neighborhood. I lost it. It took me 3 years to recover financially. Now, how did I recover financially? You're 70 years old, you go bankrupt, you think, well, my golly, your life's over. No, you move forward. I'm happy and I'm healthy. I have a wonderful wife, a wonderful family. It didn't bother me that much. It bothered me more because of what it did to my wife than it did to me. Because I've been broke many times in my life. I probably spent half of my years of my life without very much money. I always had enough money to do what I wanted to do. And then I spent a lot of years with a lot of money, up and down. But anyway, actually what happened, the reason we're having this conversation today is because I went bankrupt in 2008 when I was 70 years old. Well, really, it was a couple years later, 2011, when I finally ended the fight with the banks. I fought them, by the way, all the way to the Indiana Supreme Court and lost. But I moved forward. What happened was then technology had evolved to the point. My mission from really in 1961, I taught high school for a year. I just graduated from Oberlin College in 1960. I taught all 4 years of high school math at a little high school in Ohio, Western Reserve High School in Wakeman, Ohio. And I realized how bad high school math was. I've been a victim of it, and I'd survived thanks to 3 great teachers. I realized how bad it was. And my mission then in life was I wanted to reform it. But I didn't have any way of doing it. So then after I got a PhD in math, I went and taught at a teacher's college or taught high school math teachers. I tried to get them to reform the way they were teaching high school math and high school teachers to teach math. And my reward for that was they fired me. So that failed. And so then I went and started applying math to all sorts of businesses, made millions of dollars, really had a great time, had a great life. I've traveled the world. I've had all sorts of fantastic things. And good health and good psychological and mental. I'm 80. As of this video today, I'm 86 years old. I don't have any aches or pains. I don't have any known health problems. I don't take medicine. I haven't been in a hospital. I think the last time I was in a hospital, I had my tonsils out when I was 6 years old. Why? It's the wisdom tools. Yeah, you say it's good genetics. Well, that's part of it. Genetics are important, but much more important than genetics is epigenetics and the habits and the addictions you have. I'm going to tell you right now, your habits and your addictions are going to be one of the most important things you're going to learn. If there's one wisdom tool that you want to learn, it's about habits and addictions, because that's going to control your life, what you're addicted to. And your habits control your life. They did mine. Did I always have good habits? No, I had bad habits I had to overcome. I once drank a quart of whiskey every day. I smoked 2 packs of cigarettes every day. I took Valium. I took Maalox. I had suppository. I had bad health. Fortunately, I was a relatively young man when that happened, and I realized what was happening. I gained some wisdom tools from a great book I read that I'll tell you about. And I overcame all those bad habits and addictions. And this was 50 years ago. I wouldn't have lived to be 40 probably. If I was in my early 30s when I overcame those bad habits and addictions. I gained them in my 20s. And it's easy to fall into bad habits and bad addictions. And I explain all that. So you're going to learn so much from this. If you're a young adult, to me, that means 12, 13 years, or older. And you could be 40 or 50 years old or 60 years old. I mean, I've gained some wisdom tools in my 80s, believe it or not, in my 80s. Oh my golly. And that helped me improve my life a little bit. You improve your life in increments, like climbing a ladder. It gets better and better. The rules you live by, I talk about that. That's extremely important. You got to decide what tribes you join, what tribes you're a member of. That's extremely important. How do you decide? What do you do? Extrinsic and intrinsic motivators. This is absolutely a critical one to understand. If you don't understand that, you're probably going to have a crappy life. Just be honest about it. Flow, my golly, that's a concept you need to understand, because that is the most important condition that you're going to be in if you have a successful life, in my view. Not all the time, but much of the time, and so on and so forth. Every one of these wisdom tools is a critically important thing. And it's going to take you years to learn them. I don't expect you to learn these certainly not in a month. You're not going to learn it in a year. It's going to take you years to learn all these things and figure this out. And so you're going to probably be in a tribe. I expect you to be in a tribe for many, many years. Now, you may just pay $9 a month and that's it. As inflation goes on, I may raise the price in the future for future members, but you'll stay at $9. At least that's my current thinking. I think that's going to be the case. Most of you then, if you're making good money, you just pay $9 a month, you're in the tribe. You might want to join the Army and get even more benefit out of it. Depends on what you want in life. It's your life. Every life's different. If I was starting out again today, my future life would be very different than my past life, just because of technologies and everything is changing so much. Nobody knows what's going to happen in the next 50 years. I mean, nobody. You just don't know. You can think you know, you can make predictions and all that, but you don't know. By the way, In the next 30 days for $9, you're going to master this TI 30XA scientific calculator. It would have been worth $1 million during the Manhattan Project. It's fantastic. It'll let you do all the practical math you'll ever need to do, and you'll never need to buy another calculator. You probably have one on your smartphone you use, but this will be better than the one on your smartphone probably. It's $10. And I have several of them laying around because to really understand math and what you can get out of math, you're going to read my book, Public School Math Destroying the USA. You're going to read this book. And by the way, my story's in it. You're going to find out how this all came about. The first 3 parts of this book are my story and how this all came about. Part 4 is what's wrong with public school math. There's only 4 chapters, explains it. Part 5 is all about triad math, the modern 21st century math that's fantastic. It's fun. It's easy. It's like a sport. Anybody can learn it. 9 out of 10 children today are going to do well in it. By the way, there's only one grade in math account. That's called an A. You learn it or you don't learn it. And one of the first things you're going to learn, mastering the calculator, you're going to have tutorial videos, 16 of them, and notes and exercises. Now, this you can buy. I'll give you a free PDF copy of it, or you can buy this from a printer that prints this out very inexpensively. I think this is, if you go to my printer and order a copy of it, get it in a couple of days, I think it's like $5 or $6. Guess who my printer is? That prints my books and sells them very inexpensively. This book right here, by the way, sells for today for $4.80. It's a 160-page book, let's say. And you get it in 2 days, 1 copy, you order it, Amazon, of course. They print these books out. It's unbelievable. Their technologies blow my mind. And I've been doing this now for a few years. I got like 18 books on Amazon just as a printer. I don't make any money on the books. These are just so my students can buy them. They don't have to print out PDF copies. And I got them for all the tiers. So they're all there. And I've done some other books too on Amazon. So this is Dr.Del Craig Hain. As you can tell, by the way, I'm in what's called a state of flow right now. I'm enjoying doing what I'm doing. I love doing what I'm doing. I love making this video. I love communicating with you, whoever you are. And if you join the tribe, we'll have more communication. I have Zoom meetings occasionally with tribe members. So I have a forum. You can go ask questions. And then somebody, me or one of my team members, answers questions. It depends on what the question is. Sometimes I got a team member that can answer it. Sometimes it's something I need to answer. In fact, you may ask me a question where I do a video to answer it. I do literally thousands of videos. I've done, I don't know how many, hundreds, maybe thousands, lots of videos. I love doing videos. I'm using Zoom to do this, by the way, and that creates an MP4 video, which we can then edit, take clips out of it, do things with it. And I can sometimes, this one I'll convert to a YouTube video, and so it'll be available on our YouTube channel, as well as on a web page that you've now come to. You're at our web page, triadmathinc.com/TMT. And so it's a long video. I understand, but I hope you got a lot out of it. And I hope, if nothing else, more important than $9, invest some of your time in the next 30 days. The $9 is the trivial part. What's important is the time you invest. And if you'll put in 20 or 30 hours in the next 30 days, you'll probably get hundreds of dollars worth of benefit already. Just learning how to use a calculator alone, that'll be a lot. But you can also watch a couple of wisdom tools. Take time to do that. They don't last very long. They're usually 30-minute videos. I can explain something to you in 30 minutes. The one about IQ and EQ and WQ, you'll find that interesting. That's really important. It took me a long time to learn that. Okay, enough of that. I'm enjoying this very much. I'm enjoying talking to you. And I encourage you, as I say, to invest some of your time in $9. And by the way, if you're really, really poor and you can't afford the $9 and you still want to do it, go to my website. My email's at the bottom. Email me. Say, I need help, and I will give you $9. I will just give you $9 that you can then invest in it and put your time in. Now, you have to have access to the internet, but you can go to the library and do that. Probably go somewhere where they can get you into the internet, or you can do it on your smartphone. And you don't have to pay a dime if you can't afford $9. Okay, just contact me because I want to help you improve your life. Whoever you are, I want to help you improve your life. That's called karma. That's what I love to do. That's my mission in life now. I'm not doing this for money, by the way, as you can imagine. Money's getting Money is meaningless to me now, meaning I've got more than I need, all I need, and no more than I need. So I do this because I love people and I love helping people. And that's the whole point. So I'll see you on other videos. Bye-bye. I hope you have a wonderful life.